Hello and welcome to another video, and as you already can tell by the title and the thumbnail, are doing my October TBR as picked by the TBR jar. Also, don't mind my phone volume being on. I'm waiting for a call that I actually need to come through. Like, I need to be able to hear it. So if this is dinging, hopefully it's not too annoying. I'm also not sitting on the floor today because I've been having knee issues. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on this past week. But yeah, that's why I'm not sitting on the floor today. But anyway, I just got back from Barnes & Noble. I had to pick up a couple new releases, which are on the cart and will be part of the options. And the three new ones that I did pick up today are Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I'm so excited for this. I think this is going to be like a spooky coded, ghosty type of like paranormal romance. Paranormal in the, there's ghosts, but not like they're paranormal, you know? Anyway, I went and picked that up today. I also on a whim picked up Chasing Wild by Elliot Rose because for one, the cover and the edges pulled me in, and then I read the back and it sounded really good, and I found out it's ex-boyfriend's dad, which I think might be not like a favorite trope, but it might be growing on me because I just recently read Wild Card and loved it, and I also really liked Birthday Girl back a while ago when I read that, so I'm like, you know what, let's throw another one of those in there. A nice little spicy cowboy romance, can't go wrong. We also picked up this one. The other book I went for today was Anathema by Carrie Lake. So pretty. But anyway, I am currently reading this right now on my Kindle, but I'm only like 10% in. Like, I just started it, so I'm going to pretend that this is like an option because, I mean, it's like chunky, and like I said, I've barely started it. But yeah, I think this will be a really good October book. Most of these I think will be great for October, but yeah, those are the three that I picked up today. Also wanted to mention, I always forget to do this in these videos, but out of last month, so September's TBR, I did indeed read all of them. Technically, Grimoire Grammar School PTA I am still in the middle of, but that's because I'm doing a buddy read, and so I'm reading it like a couple chapters at a time. So that one technically won't get finished in September, but it will get finished. So we're just going to say that all of the books on my, I'll try to put them here, on my September TBR, like if you watched last month's video, they did get read, and one of them was a DNF, and that was Stopover, which I downloaded from Kindle Unlimited. Could not do it. I don't even think I got 10% in, and the writing I was no. So anyway, we did successfully read or attempt to read all of the books on September's TBR, so I'm feeling really good about that. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the prompt jar picks. I usually pick 6, and I think I'm going to pick 6 again, just because I like having that direction, but I've also been doing a lot of mood reading, so hopefully this one's TBR goes well. We will see. Pick number 1 for October. I'm so excited that it's October. Also, as always, time is flying by, which is crazy. Okay, pick number 1. Ta-da! Book that is part of a series. Ooh. So if it's part of a series, that technically means I could be starting a new series or continuing a series, which means that gives me obviously a lot of options. I could do Road Trip with a Vampire. That's part of like an interconnected standalone series. I could do Beautiful Exile, part of the Sparrow Falls series. I could count Anathema because that would be starting a series, because Eldritch also just came out. Cress would be me continuing a series. But you know what? I think as of right now, looking at everything, I think I want to choose Road Trip with a Vampire by Jenna Levine, just because I have been really, really excited for this one, and I have a track record for absolutely loving My Vampire series. Roommate with a Vampire, or no, My Roommate is a Vampire. I gave that 5 stars. My Vampire Plus One I also really liked. I think I gave them both 5 stars. So I just think they're such a like silly, goofy, fun time. They're the perfect rom-coms with just a little tiny hint of paranormal. Like, there are vampires, but it's not like serious vampires. It's like kind of sillier and lighter-hearted, I guess you could say. And I also love that all of her books have like mixed media at the beginning of most chapters. So you'll have like letters or emails or texts or like lists, bullet journal excerpts, things like that. I just love books that have mixed media, and this series does that really well. So I'm really excited for this one. This one follows Griselda aka Zelda Watson, who I believe she's a witch. We have seen her in the previous books, and it will also follow Peter, who I think is a new character. Peter isn't completely harmless. He is fanged after all, but he's harmless enough and soon becomes the only person in Zelda's new life who knows the truth about what she is. If she can help him decipher the cryptic notes in his journal, the only clues to his lost memories, she might as well try before sending him on his way. But when an alarming message from Peter's past coincides with a clear sign that Zelda can't keep running from her own, they embark on a cross-country road trip. Love that. Love that it's going to be the same silly, goofy, paranormal vampire witch situation that we've had in the past, but also they're going on a road trip. So, and I love this cover. I'm obsessed. Anyway, this is pick number 1 for book that is in a series for October. I'm gonna make a pile as usual, and then we will put them all on the TBR cart after. Also, oh, I feel like you guys can't see my TBR cart at all, and I feel like you should be able to. Let's see if I can. The lighting might not be great. Okay, you can only see the top shelf though. Whatever, it's fine. Pick number 2 for October. A special edition book. Yay! Okay, that is a lot of, well, okay. That's 3 of them right here on my shelf. Anathema, Chasing the Wild, which we just purchased. Beautiful Exile, technically. That one I'm waiting for winter. Enchanted Greenhouse. You still can't even see this, guys. I think those technically are my only unread, like, special editions. I mean, I guess I do have one over there, but I don't feel like reading that. So I think I've chosen which one that I want, and that is going to be, you could probably guess, I'm going to choose, Anathema, because I am already currently started. Because I've already started, this will end up being my first book of October, and like I said, because I'm so very barely into it, I do think that that can still count. And it's perfect gothic-y vibes for October. This is definitely like a dark gothic fantasy tale with like lots of monsters and creatures. And that's really all I know about it so far. I have been introduced to both main characters. I was very confused at first, so I did, because I've been reading it on my Kindle, I did want to go pick up the hardcover so that I can easily kind of just flip back to like the glossary and like the, it's like a family tree kind of a deal. I wanted to have both, like access to both of those things to make the reading experience easier and better. So yeah, this will be pick 2 for my October TBR. Very excited for this one as well. Pick number 3. Okay, of course it was upside down. Hubby chooses out of 3, except I always get this when he's not home, and he's definitely very much working right now. And I think we did get this one last time, I want to say, or like we did get this one recently. I'm going to set this one aside for now because I could text him, but he might not answer till like tonight, and then I kind of wanted to have this like filmed and done. We're going to set that aside for now and come back to it possibly. Redo on pick number 3. I like it when hubby chooses, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's never here for me to be able to do those, at least easily. Pick number 3, redo. Okay. Book you want to reread. Except for the fact that like I don't want to reread anything right now. I feel like this always happens. Like when I don't want to get certain prompts is when I get them. Here's the thing. I want to read A Steeping of Blood, but I feel like I need a refresher on the first book, which is A Tempest of Tea. But I don't know if I technically need to do like a full reread. But you know what, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it just in case. Okay. Well, this is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, and I did read this like last year, loved it, gave it 5 stars, and it's about like a vampire heist. In this world, vampires can't really just roam about during the day because they're secret. Going to like a blood house or like a tea house by day, but blood house by night, it's something that has to be done in secret, so that's why it exists. And yeah, there's a heist. It was so good, but obviously I don't remember all of like the details, so I do want to reread, if not the whole book, I do want to reread like a good portion of at least like the ending or like the end half. So we're gonna count this as my book that I want to reread, just because the only other book I really would want to reread anytime soon is Kingdom of Ash, but I don't know if I feel like committing to that for October because I'm gonna be in the mood for all these other like spooky coded books, you know? So yeah, we're gonna go with A Tempest of Tea so that hopefully we can get to A Steeping of Blood, which I'll show you the cover of. This also just came out like a week ago, so excited. Yeah, so pick number 3, Reread, Tempest of Tea. Pick number 4. Okay, we have person on the cover. Ooh, that should be fairly easy because I don't think it has to be like, doesn't mean a real person. It just needs, there just needs to be a person on the cover. A Steeping of Blood does have a person on the cover, but you know, because we're going to be rereading A Tempest of Tea, or at least like a portion of that, I'm just going to lump those two together. So I'm not going to pick that one for this one, even though there is a person technically on the cover. Chasing Wild does not have a person on the cover. Soul Searching does have 2 people on the cover. That's a definite option. No Unnatural doesn't have any people on the cover. Beautiful Exile doesn't. Overruled by Lana Ferguson does have like cartoon characters. Throne of the Fallen does not. Caress does have a person, obviously, on the cover. Do I feel like reading this month though? And then technically The Fragile Threads of Power also has a person on the cover, even though it's like very stylized and like kind of hard to see. I don't know why I keep putting this one off. I do really want to read it though. But let's see, what am I actually, I know exactly which one I'm in the mood for. Let's be honest, guys. Let's not keep playing that game. I'm obviously going to go with Soul Searching by Lila Sage because it just came out. I'm hella excited for it. It's the perfect vibe for October, being that there are ghosts and all sorts of things. And yeah, I did read the synopsis of this at the store. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you guys, but it follows Collins Cartwright. She ends up having to go home to Sweetwater Peak, Wyoming, which hubby and I right now are very interested in Montana, Wyoming, you know, out west area. So I kind of love that this is set in Wyoming. She has to go back to her hometown. She finds out a developer is trying to buy her parents' antique shop out from under them, so she doesn't have a choice. And she's out of money, she lost her job, yada yada. You know, as one does. That's like almost always the catalyst for like one of these kind of romances where it's like they have to go home but they don't really want to, kind of a thing. So you have that catalyst, and then of course the new to town upholsterer, it's a hard word to say, has a room for rent above his store, and so obviously they're gonna have some run-ins, they're gonna have some attraction. She can like talk to ghosts, but yet it sounds like they're kind of like ignoring her recently. So yeah, you do have, I've heard Emmy Rossum, because she recently read this, talk about how there are like a lot of ghosts mentioned in this, just like ghosts physically showing up, inner monologue about ghosts, just like talk about ghosts in general. So I think this will be the perfect book for October. So yeah, this is pick number 4, person on the cover, which is really funny because now that I'm looking, every single book that I've chosen so far does have a person on the cover. Like Road Trip with a Vampire has 2 stylized cartoon people on the cover. Anathema has a girl facing away, but still has a girl on the cover. Tempest of Tea, person on the cover. Like, anyway, that's pick number 4. So we have 2 to go. Or sorry, did I say pick number 4? We're on to pick number 5. Book chosen solely for the cover. I always love getting this one. Okay, what cover do I love? Also, what do we have so far? So far we have 2 paranormal romances and 2 fantasies, but one of the fantasies is like a big, more serious, like gothic fantasy, and the other one is a YA fantasy reread. But if I read Tempest of Tea, I'm probably going to want to go straight into Steeping of Blood, which means that's 3 fantasies. Okay, with that in mind, what do I want? Picking it for the cover. I do really like the cover of Chasing Wild. I do really love the cover of Unnatural, just because it's like very, very fall coded. But I'm like, I already have 2 pretty, I would say, I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to keep this one for November. I don't know why. Even though this would be perfect for October. The main character's name is Autumn. She's a nurse. Autumn Sterling knows more than she'd like to about pain and survival. As one of only a handful of children who made it to adulthood after being exposed to a horrific drug that swept impoverished communities decades earlier, Autumn is focused on living a full, rich life as a nurse. And yet she can't seem to let go of him, the boy she once called her Moonlight Monster. The boy they tried to convince her was merely a dream, brought on by her medication. Okay, so this is gonna be, if the first book in this like interconnected standalone series is anything to go by, this is gonna have some like psychological thriller aspects to it, which is a perfect book for October. Is this the one I want to pick based on the cover? Because we're doing this based on the cover. I also do enjoy the cover of Beautiful Exile. I also really like the cover of Throne of the Fallen. Really pretty. If I were to just go solely based on the cover, like which one do I like better? I guess I would have to say Unnatural because the cover is what like drew me in, but also because obviously I'd read the first book and really liked it, and it's the quintessential fall cover. Like a fall cover doesn't get more fall than this. So yeah, I think that it really does make sense to go for this one, especially since I wouldn't really say, even though the back has some like darker things to it, I wouldn't say that this is like a paranormal romance, whereas the other two are. So yeah, I feel confident in this being our 5th pick. Last pick of the month, I think we are just going to keep the hubby chooses out of 3 out, and then we'll just put it back in and as an option for next time. Last pick for October. Book that matches your current shirt. Ooh, I love this. Okay, well, obviously my current shirt is gray, which makes this really hard because now that I look, I don't know if I have any gray book. Even on my books that are like, have been on my bookshelves for a long time, but haven't been read yet. I don't think, do I have any gray books? I think the closest we could even get to gray here would be this, but it's like not, it's like blue, right? It's like blues and purples and light green. Yeah, so I don't think we can like really call that gray. And then Chasing Wild, the edges are like a dark gray, but there's so many other colors that it's like, does this match my current shirt? Not really. So you know what? I think this is one of my newer prompts. I think this is another prompt that we're just gonna have to put back in the jar for today because I just don't think that that really works. I love that prompt. I just don't think that's gonna work out right now because I really do not have anything gray. So there's that. Try again. Redo on pick number 6. What do we got? Set in a small town. Okay, that could be a lot of books. Beautiful Exile, aka Sparrow Falls, is definitely a small town. Press is not a small town. Chasing Wild is set in Montana, but is it a small town? Crimson Ridge. What happens when you're snowed in on a mountain ranch in Montana? This kind of sucks because I could have chosen Soul Searching for this one too. You know what? It's totally fine though. Totally fine. I think we are going to go with, I feel like it has, like the one that fits the prompt best is Beautiful Exile by Catherine Cowles. But like, do I feel like reading this one this month? If this is on a mountain ranch in Montana, then I would like assume it's small town. Okay, I think I'm gonna cheat just a little bit because I think right now I like really am more interested in reading this one. Like I'm probably because I bought it today. I'm very intrigued, and I also haven't read a cowboy romance in a while. I did recently, very recently, read Ex-Boyfriend's Dad. I don't know, I feel like this being kind of like a wild card that I just threw onto my TBR, my physical TBR, I think will be fun. There are a lot of romances on this TBR, I just realized, but that's okay. That's all right, especially since we'll do Anathema, and then we can do a palette cleanser romance, and then we can reread Tempest of Tea, and then we can do a romance, and then we'll see what we have room for. But yeah, that is the final pick, Chasing Wild by Elliot Rose, and I think I did already mention quite a bit about this. It takes place on a mountain ranch in Montana. They get snowed in. He's an older man, her ex-boyfriend's father to be exact. And yeah, so you know it's gonna be spicy, and that's all I know. Anyway, let's go through all the books. This is our stack for October. So we have Anathema here on the bottom, which like I said, I already started. It's gonna be a good gothic dark like fantasy vibe. Then we have A Tempest of Tea, which is a reread for me, which is YA fantasy, vampire, heist, that kind of situation. And then we have Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose, Cowboy Ex-Boyfriend's Dad, spicy romance, and then we have Unnatural by Mia Sheridan, which is psychological thriller, I would assume, romance based on the first one. And then we have Soul Searching by Lila Sage, paranormal romance, Road Trip with a Vampire, rom-com with fantasy elements. So yeah, very, very excited for this. Don't forget to drink your water. I got a new Hydro Jug cup, by the way, in the color caramel, and I'm obsessed. It's giving very much like beige mom, which is what I was going for. But yeah, that is the TBR for October done. I would love to know what you guys are planning on reading in the month of October. Are you setting a TBR? Are you mood reading? Are we reading any of the same books? Have you already read any of these books? If so, what did you think? I want to know all of the things, but as usual, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. Don't forget, all of my links, like my Bookstagram and stuff like that, are in the description below, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye!